Good morning, everybody. A beautiful, warm welcome to you from some beautiful, from Lekwungen territory here in Victoria. My name is Leslie Varley. I am co-hosting this conference with a couple of my dear friends and colleagues here, and you can see us all on the top. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are here on unceded Lekwungen territory in Victoria, and we have a really big and exciting day for you. So we want to get going right away. For those of you that don't know me, I am a member of the Niska Nation on my mother's side. I belong to the Killer Whale clan. I'm a Heathlook. And I've got Charlie here in our office, who is going to start us off in a really nice, warm, welcoming way this morning. Over to you, Charlie.
Aichka, thank you. Aitnetel, siam na Elenisia, ja, siam twalmuch, siam nishumnuk, siatalatin maktwalap kniuk paslet te inel tenaquail. New imish since stiwil yakwatlan yais tenaquail. First of all, my dear friends, I want to welcome each and every one of you. And I am going to start our day off in a good way by sharing a song with each and every one of you, and my heart and my prayers go out to each and every one of you and your feelings today. Masi chachatzitzilsiam tiotman. Haichka quatlu aitina quail, titamatina quail. Chachatzitzilsiam, tsiwitham, squatlu, it's ewitham, squatlu dimieg, squatlu nowish usta. Tsichum, squatlu quam, tzilnish qualawin, timothy qualawin, tina quail. Chachatzitzilsiam, haichka.
Hachkasiam, Charlie, thank you for your beautiful, warm words and welcome this morning. I'd like to now introduce you to our dear and beloved elder, Gerry Oleman, who is going to say a few words. In light of the events that have unfolded over the last week, I just want to ask people to be really gentle with each other today and know that our elders in particular are hurting today. Gerry, I welcome you.
Kaichkasiam, Squallensiam, Sahilfitsiam. Oh, Cookstum Calip and Snooknook, Cookstum Calip, Uchel Milcha to Milch. Cookstum Calip, BC Friendship Center Society. Kukstum kalpen snuknu kwa man luchten. Schwana. Kukstum kau. I'd just like to first off acknowledge all of the original people on Turtle Island, the ones that have been here for thousands of years and survived. And not only survived, but ensured that we would have what we have today: water and food, salmon, moose meat, deer meat, that they kept the land pristine for their descendants that were going to follow. And we're a part of that today. So it's only right that we do acknowledgments of the nations in this country, that we thank them. I've been thanking my ancestors that survived the smallpox epidemic, the Spanish flu, everything that came. They were resolute and they would not give up. So I could be here today. And that's why I say, thank you, friends and relatives. And then I wanted to thank Leslie and the Friendship Center Society. The word social actually means friend in a dictionary. You know, when we become friends in this country, we're quickly going to deal with what happened. We're quickly going to, when we bring our minds together with the intention of creating healing and action to stop harm so that the future generations will no longer have to talk about residential school or mass graves or Indian reservations, but we'll talk about what are we going to do today for our future. In Indigenous ways, we were taught to leave this land in a good way so that the ones following us can have a life, that we're to leave it even better than we found it. Those are old teachings. I was given Thanksgiving today to Leslie and her group, and I called them Manluchten. They're the ones that used to watch out for danger in our society. They would watch what's going to bring harm, and they would gather the people and put their minds together to deal with that harm. So that's the way I see what Leslie's doing. And I also mentioned the word Shwana, the healers. I thank the healers, that have been working tirelessly, you know. And when I think of the healers, the traditional healers, they've been always there, but not always acknowledged or recognized. That the new systems come in, and I don't diss all of those new systems. My life has benefited from modern medicine. But the healers, kept me grounded so that not get swept away by negativity, be swept away in anger and hate. I traveled that road and it was destroying my body. The intense hate I had for ideologies and for evil people in the system. It took me a long time to say those evil people, those monsters. And I started to actually use those words. Everyone that was Canadian was a monster to me, was evil. So the healers that shook me up, and they would say words like my brother, his people, yuck with it, kwiat, free yourself, put it down. Those negative emotions. Our children are depending on us today to do the right thing, to form relationships, to solve problems, to be a coalition. Because the children are born into this. And we must ask ourselves, what am I going to do to bring healing, to bring peace, to assist our youngsters to reach their potential, regardless of their color, or just allow them to be themselves. So I'm so proud of the Friendship Society to say status quo is no longer an option. It's not acceptable. We must look at what's not acceptable and change it. Not just complain about it. Come with solutions. I've been sharing with people. I get so tired of the complainers. I complain about them now. You know. So thank you for coming today and bring solutions with you. When we have a circle in Indigenous communities, we let everyone speak because we do not know who has the answer. The one that hardly speaks could have the answer. So I want to thank all of you on behalf of my children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and the other ones that are going to follow them for coming here today to look at this racism and say we're going to eradicate it. That there will no longer be stereotyping in our watch or discrimination. So I'd like to thank all of you, and I see in a list of speakers, and I raise my hand to you because you create the ideology. It's a very important role you have because there's only two reasons why human beings fight in the world. It's over resources or ideology, the belief system. So you that got called today to lay teachings at our feet, to share with us your thoughts, your beliefs. And once we all understand, we can go, Hoy, Huishtwi, let's go. Nashmin, go for it. You know, and that's, I've been waiting for these days. It is sad to say that it took children to open our eyes. It took children that were buried secretly to open the eyes and hearts of this country. And we must keep them opened. So attacking them will close them off again and they'll run away again. So I really encourage you to, speak the truth, but with the intention of change, that we're going to bring change. So I just like to thank you again, Leslie, for calling me here today, to be part of this movement, coalition of action against, because I've been cut by racism. Every Indigenous person in this country has been cut. So I'm looking forward to the day. I'm realistic and will not see that day, but it doesn't stop me from fighting. I keep telling people that Sanyas, I thank them for working there because I tell them I want my grandchildren and great grandchildren to run to the clinic, to run to the hospital, not stand and wonder, could I go there? Shall I go there? Will they welcome me? The only way we're going to change that is to face it, is to look at it and face it and come up with plans of action. And that's what I believe is going to be coming out of this day. And I thank you for that. Thank you, Leslie. I've always seen you as Niskat royalty. And I always believe that it's a matrilineal part of our society that promotes healing, that pushes healing, that tells us let's not live by status quo. You know, over the years now, I've witnessed all the brave women in our communities and our societies pushing for equality, pushing for justice, pushing for healing. I know Leslie Varley is part of that, so I raise my hands to you, Leslie. And I just say thank you for calling me again. And just like to thank my brother for his song, The Wathafin. You know, it just really uplifted my heart and my mind. And I hear that beautiful music from his people. Kukstum kalap and snooknook, what? Stuchumwe and snooknook, what? Stuchumwe and snooknook, what? COVID. Stuchumwe and snooknook, what? Racism. So I just like to say, be careful, be alert, take care of yourselves in regards to COVID, and take care of yourself in regards to this topic called racism. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Gerry, for those sincere words. And as Gerry said, we're here to form relationships. We're here to form problems, solve problems, and to form a coalition. So in a nutshell, that's the point of our intention here today, and to eradicate racism, which is Gerry's grand plan. So this conference started with a call. We got on a call and pulled together some old friends and colleagues who we've worked together for a long time with. And we were unhappy about the racism that's been happening. We saw the In Plain Sight report here in BC. We've been working with beloved Alika and Camilla LaFontaine on a Safespace app here at BC Association. We were seeing a lot of reports of racism, even after that report came out and made big news. So we got on the phone, some colleagues, and you see them here on your screen. So Cheryl Ward and Dr. Cheryl Ward, Dr. Annette Brown, Dr. Barry LaValle, Dr. Colleen Barcos, Dr. Alika LaFontaine. And we got on the phone and thought, okay, what can we do? What can we do to push back? Because things aren't improving quickly enough here. And we need to figure this out. We need to find a way for us as allies, as Indigenous leaders, to figure out how we're going to address the racism that we still see happening in the health sector. I mean, everywhere, of course, but our big focus is here in the health sector. We've spent a long time. Dr. Cheryl Ward and I have known each other for many years, and we got to know Dr. Annette and Colleen and Barry and Alika many, many years ago when we developed the SANYAS, Indigenous Cultural Safety Program at PHSA. And that was a decolonizing anti-racism training program, very radical when we first developed it. And Cheryl and I actually put our jobs on the line. We thought that for sure, if we were going to do this, we were going to do it from an Indigenous perspective and from a decolonizing anti-racist perspective. And we thought that we would get fired because using the term racism, 10, 15 years ago in the healthcare sector was pretty radical. And now we're moving on to even more, terms that are considered radical, but we really wanted to do something different and teach people not just about who we are as Indigenous people. That's only a small part of it. It doesn't stop racism, is what we realize with that methodology of teaching. So we wanted to figure out what to do. And we had so much help from some amazing allies, some of whom we've invited here today. And that program has been going for a long time. The SANYAS program is in Ontario, it's in Manitoba. We worked with Dr. Barry LaValle and other good doctors in Manitoba when Mr. Brian Sinclair died in an emergency room in a hospital in Winnipeg. And We expanded over into Ontario with the Sanyas training program. And still with this training, with how many people in BC have been trained with the Sanyas, it's 30, 35,000, 40,000 people have taken the training. We're still seeing awful, awful racism without accountability in the healthcare sector. And I think the other issue for us is that the accountability within the process of our reporting racism has always been unsafe for us as Indigenous people. We input our complaint into the system, and the system finally spits out an answer to us of whether or not that's a legitimate complaint. And it's such a one-sided process and model. So we were talking with Dr. Alikas and Camille LaFontaine about that, and they developed apps that we've been trying to it's going to be launched nationally. We're launching it here in BC within our 25 friendship centers here. And we've had, well, Alika's going to give you an update on the numbers that we've had, but we've had over 4,000 people visit the app since we opened it in November. That's far more complaints that the healthcare system is receiving. People feel safe reporting this racism experiences to an Indigenous organization. And so these were the reasons we were pulling it together. So we've got the training, and we've had the training, the beautiful, brilliant training curriculum written by Dr. Cheryl Ward, and we've got the app for reporting racism. And now we need to start moving these issues forward and accelerating the problem solving, as Gerry said, that we need to do. So that's why we're here, in a nutshell, is to eradicate racism. And so that's our intention today. We've got, look at this amazing lineup of speakers here. The people that we asked immediately agreed to step up and do some, share some of their knowledge today. So we're super incredibly grateful to each of you. We've also got some colleagues here who are going to assist with the hosting of this. So we have Nancy Laliberte. Are you there, Nancy? There she is. And we've got Alicia. Alicia Friedkin is going to not only monitor the chat and engage with the panelists, but she's also going to be helping us to moderate some of the sessions. We've got Dr. Colleen Varco, who's almost ready to get going. And we've got a lot of staff. Morning, Colleen. And we've got a lot of staff here that are helping us with this conference. A big, huge thank you to Lucy Hagos, who has put this conference together in a very short period of time, and she's done a brilliant, amazing job. Thank you. We've got, of course, we've got Charlie here, and Charlie is going to be joining us again. And we've also got some other staff. All the staff at BC Association have put up the Every Child Matters on their displays, but they're here all in support of us. So welcome, everybody. I think I'm going to turn this over to Nancy now, who's going to talk about some of the housekeeping issues. We are then going to go straight into, because it's 8:30, and then we're going to go straight into we're a little bit early, we're a little bit ahead, but we've got a lot to talk about. So the more time we can save, the more we can leave it for our presenters to talk. So over to you, Nancy, with housekeeping issues.
Tansei, Kakiao Kiawao, Nancy Laliberte Netsigasan. I am Nihiao and Métis from the Beaver River area of what is now known as Saskatchewan. I'm joining in today from the Anishinaabe land of the Chippewas of Rama First Nations. I want to say hi to Charlie for the beautiful song to start us off the right way this morning. And hi to Gerry for the inspiring words for all of us. And hi to Leslie and all the staff at the BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Centers, who worked so hard, as Leslie says, to bring us together today. for this event. Much gratitude and appreciation. We're really looking forward to hearing from our knowledgeable and experienced speakers here today, setting the context for, how do we challenge and disrupt institutions like settler colonialism and white supremacy and systems of whiteness to move forward in eliminating anti-Indigenous racism in healthcare and even beyond. This is just our starting place, as Leslie mentioned. So as also Leslie mentioned, one of the goals is to form a coalition to eliminate anti-Indigenous racism. So while you're listening and learning from our remarkable speakers today, just begin to think about actions and strategies that are things that you can take on in your own department or your area. Keeping in mind that, we work in institutions and organizations, so we have agency there, and it is people who form and maintain systems, and we can change them with collective will. So just keeping in mind, how can we move forward individually, but also as a coalition to eliminate anti-Indigenous racism or eradicate, as Gerry says. So just to go over some housekeeping items, you all seem super comfortable with the chat, so I don't think I have to talk about that. This event is being recorded, so if you joined, you're consenting to be recorded. The recording will be on social media very shortly after the event is over. The live transcription feature is available. It's on the bottom right of your Zoom screen. Zoom live transcription is a product of its environment, so it only speaks in English, and it only supports kind of local dialects. So it might not be completely accurate at times because it's influenced by background noise, enunciation, pieces like this. So be a little bit forgiving with our Zoom transcription. Thank you. You can also turn it off just by clicking on the button and closing it. So we would like you to please use the question and answer function, the Q&A function, just to the left of the live transcript option, just because we would like to use that for attendees or a 30-minute lunch break from 12:30 to 1:30. If you have to leave and come back, please use the same link to rejoin the webinar. You can visit our events page. Maybe one of the BC Association staff can put up the link in the chat. If you have questions or concerns that require addressing during the conference, please email Lucy, and Lucy maybe I'll get you to put your email into the chat as well. It's govcoordinator@bcaafc.com. And just to remember, this is a respectful, inclusive, and anti-racist space. So please behave accordingly. While we encourage, healthy disruption of the status quo, if we do feel like there's any abusive language or inappropriate behavior, you'll get booted out and you won't be able to come back. So we do want to hear from everyone. So, please keep our rules of engagement in mind. And also from time to time, we will post a question in the chat that Alicia will post for the Mentimeter. And this is a kind of a word cloud app that's pretty cool. So when she puts questions, head on over to the link that Alicia will put up and put in the code word, and please enter your answers to the questions that she has so that we can go ahead and create like documentation word clouds of our engagement today. That's it for housekeeping. Leslie, should we just go into the speakers? What are you thinking?
Colleen, are you ready? That Colleen's ready.